No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, beautiful people in the studio. Welcome to Brand Momentum Morning Show. Good morning, Brenda. I love you're like raising your hand. Yes, present and accounted for. And as always, beautiful Amber in the house. Thank you so much for coming. Always, my love. And Deb, always here. So good to see you. Welcome, Denny. Denny, it's the first time in the studio. So grateful to have you. Hello, beautiful Vivian. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Juliet. Yes, welcome, ladies. Today is going to be a good day. Why? Because it's the day that the Lord made. We will rejoice and be exceedingly glad in it. Good morning, Facebook user. Not sure who this is, if this is Arvis or Sakina. And another good morning, Facebook user. Good morning, Jessica. Beautiful. Thanks for joining. All right. So be like Amber and share. Amber knows the drill. Amber's been with me since day one, since we started this show in January. And the reason for that is because we're all about inspiring into action. Mission for the show, inspiring into action, whether it's in your life, whether it's in your business, personal relationships, business relationships, it doesn't matter. We're all about sharing the love. Good morning, beautiful Melody Dixon. Good morning, Brenda F's all the way from the ATL. Jackie, how come your name isn't showing, lovey? That's interesting. All right. So let's share, let's tag. We're continuing to read from the book, Think and Grow Rich for Women. March continues to be, excitingly, continues to be Women's History Month. And so I'm putting extra sauce. I'm putting extra sauce on the work this month to gather up the women, to get everybody into action, to get everybody into momentum. We're closing out this first quarter. We're moving into Q2, and think about what it is that you're trying to accomplish and where are you, right? So Facebook user, exit out and look for the link that says I'm going live using StreamYard, to click it to give StreamYard permission to use your name. So yeah, Denny's saying this is the first time she's used it. I'm wondering what's the point of this new technology listing now. Okay, so StreamYard, as the name indicates, stream, allows you to broadcast to multiple platforms with one go. So that's the point of it, Denny. It's not like you can only go live on your Facebook, or then you have to go only live on your IG and then go on your Twitter and your YouTube, right? You sit in one studio. So I'm here now in my home studio, currently broadcasting on Facebook, my Facebook business, personal branding consultancy business page, my YouTube channel, and on my Twitter, right? I don't have to do 5 shows. I'm doing one and it goes out. So this is important for momentum, for speed, success like speed, right? I'm making and redeeming my time by not having to go then click on different shows. So hope you're seeing that value there, Denny. No, still not. So maybe exit out and come back in. Okay. Good morning, Marianne. Thank you for joining, beautiful. Yes, Melody's done the deed, shared. I love it. All right. So chapter 10 in Think and Grow Rich for Women. When I saw that this was a chapter this morning, I was like, this will be interesting. And I definitely am encouraging a lot of discussion around this because some of you may have a different point, of view. Anyway, we're going to stay with an open mind. We're not going to judge. We're just going to observe. That's what leaders do. And when you're transforming, you just observe. You don't make a thing. You just observe it. Jim Rohn told us that from the very beginning, right? It's like you just observe and say, isn't that interesting? But you don't make it mean anything about you. So chapter 10, the mystery of sex transmutation. The emotion of sex brings into being a state of mind. And the quote they used, opening quote, men reach their sexual peak at 18. Women reach theirs at 35. Do you get the feeling that God is playing a practical joke? Rita Rudner. Let's read on. Let's see what they have got to say about this. This chapter gets a lot of attention. For some, the topic of sex transmutation is a bit confusing. What does that mean? Other women look at it as very chauvinistic and therefore question how I, the author, would make sense of it for the inclusion in Think and Grow Rich for Women. To them, I ask, have you ever chosen a certain outfit because it makes you more sexually appealing? So as I'm reading these questions, I want you to think about it for yourself. Have you ever chosen a certain outfit because it makes you more sexually appealing? Have you ever looked at someone out of the corner of your eye? Have you ever flirted or teased someone? When you shake someone's hand, do you lightly touch their shoulder or hand with your other hand, creating more intimacy? Have you ever said no, but with a smile? Do you look at yourself when you pass a mirror? If you answered yes, okay, good. Here, Jacqueline's in the house now. Good. So did anybody answer yes to any of those questions? You don't have to tell me which one, but if you had a yes to anyone, just type yes in the comments. So I'll go through again quickly. Have you ever chosen a certain outfit because it makes you more sexually appealing? Have you ever looked at someone out of the corner of your eye? Have you ever flirted with or teased someone? When you shake someone's hand, do you lightly touch their shoulder or hand with your other hand, creating more intimacy? Have you ever said no, but with a smile? Do you look at yourself when you pass a mirror? Juliet's like not even holding back. She's like, of course. Jacqueline's like, Jacqueline said all of the above. I love it. Yep, Vivian says yes. Juliet says most. Yes to Deb and Brenda. Okay, so we're not alone. Yes for me too. If you answered yes to any of these questions, you understand the power of sexual attraction. Hill noted, this is Napoleon Hill, sex desire is the most powerful of human desires. Sex transmutation simply means transferring sexual energy from sexual expression into expression of a different sort, such as increased imagination, courage, or keenness of thought. He shares the following simple examples of how someone's personal magnetism is an expression of sex energy, right? So you get the idea. We're all energy. We're made up. We're energetic beings. So what Napoleon Hill is saying is that we are comprised of sex energy. There is sex energy built in, created in with us. It is there. It's not like a new phenomenon. But that when you transmute it, so from you take your infinite sex energy that's already within you and you transmute it to something else that's going to be beneficial for you from a powerful standpoint. Let's read. The handshake. The touch of the hand indicates instantly the presence of magnetism or lack of it. Who's ever shaken hands with a fish? Let me see in the comments. Brenda's like asking a question. Does anybody not? Exactly, right? Yes and yes. Who here has ever shaken hands with a fish? You know what I mean when I say that, right? You go to a networking meeting or you go to a meeting or wherever you're out to dinner and somebody's new, and you shake. And yeah, well, when we used to shake hands. But you ever get that, like, it drives me bananas. You stretch your hand out and they just hold like this part and shake it like that, as opposed to a handshake. The handshake, the touch of the hand indicates instantly the presence of magnetism or lack of it. So if you're out there giving fish handshakes instead of firm handshakes, that's immediately communicating something about you, about your magnetism, about your power, about your confidence. Yeah, we only do the firm handshakes. Like, yes, Marion. Number 2, the tone of voice. Magnetism, or sex energy, is the factor with which the voice may be colored or made musical or charming, right? Your tone of voice. Number 3, posture and carriage of the body. Highly sexed people move briskly and with grace and ease. Number 4, the vibrations of thought. Highly sexed people mix the emotion of sex with their thoughts or may do so at will. In that way, may influence those around them. Body adornment. People who are highly sexed are usually very careful about their personal appearance. They usually select clothing of a style becoming to their personality, physique, complexion, etc. And we have our resident stylist in the house, Jacqueline Young-Landy, can tell you all about this, that the way you curate, the way you look, the way you adorn yourself says something about you and says something about the way you choose to present yourself, and that they usually select clothing of a style becoming to their personality, physique, and complexion, so that when you're activating your sex power, because you understand. So here's the thing about sex power, sex energy. It is the creation of life. It is the thing that continues the human race. It is power infinite, sex energy. But that you have the ability to transmute it, so that power that's within it still exists. You're just using it in a different sense. So when they talk about magnetism, it's not like, oh yeah, you want to sleep with everybody that you meet, but that power in that sex energy creates your magnetism. It pulls people into you, men, women, male, female, young, old, alike. It's magnetism. What does a magnet do? It literally, you pull people in just by your very essence. That's what happens when you transmute your actual sex energy into magnetism. Certainly, these are all examples that apply equally to men and women. How do you feel when you shake another woman's hand and she offers you her limp fingers? This is what I was just talking about. Her limp fingers to shake rather than a full, firm handshake. Does your voice change based on whether you are speaking to a child, spouse, or business associate, right? That means you have the ability to flex. You have the ability to really sort of morph into the energy of what's going on in the situation. Yeah, no. We don't do wishy-washy handshake. Not here, not today. Have you ever been in a business meeting or at a party When someone comes in who exudes a palpable sense of self-confidence and positive energy, her charisma and magnetic personality instinctively draws people to her. Some people just seem to have it, while others do not. However, Hill believes, here's the good news, Hill believes you can improve your own magnetic personality by reviewing his list of the 21 elements that are important for achieving magnetic personality. Momentum, people, let's get the journal. We're going to write now. We're going through all 21. Wow. So don't worry if, some people will say, oh my God, Faith, you're so you too, with intention, can amp up your magnetism, because when it comes to, they're talking about business, whether it comes to your personal life, friends, family, whomever, to have magnetism is important for flow of the energy. You ever just had like an opportunity to sit with somebody who was just literally like dead energy, nothing flowing? Like, it's very off-putting. I don't care if we're talking about the weather. I don't care if we're talking about sport. It doesn't matter. They're just like a lump on a log. That doesn't exude the confidence. That doesn't exude the magnetism that people are attracted to, that they want to do business with people who are alive, people who are like awakened and get it. And they're not just asleep at the wheel. All right, everybody's got their journal ready to go. Number 1, good showmanship. So this list is about how you can amp up, create, achieve a magnetic personality. 21 elements. Number 1 is good showmanship. Understand and apply the art of catering to the masses. Right? You think it's like the greatest show on earth. What's the greatest show on earth? The circus, right? Thousands of people in the audience. It's not just a one-to-one. Thousands of people are in the auditorium, the stadium, wherever. And it's like showmanship. You get to make them feel like they're the only person in that auditorium, that stadium. That's showmanship. To push your energy so far out that the person sitting way up in the nosebleed section feels it. Number 2, harmony within self. Be in control of your own mind. Harmony within yourself. So you can't be of a divided mind. You can't be wishy-washy. You can't be hot and cold, yes and no. You've got to be one. What is your one definite way of thinking, being? You can't, right? We say no to wishy-washy. And this isn't about judgment of what you're decided is good or bad or right or wrong, but just be decided. So we get into number 3, which leads into definiteness of purpose. Be definite in developing relationships of harmony with others, right? Number 4, appropriateness of clothing. First impressions are lasting. Appropriateness of clothing doesn't mean good or bad, right? Appropriateness of, so Jacqueline's a fashion designer. One of the elements of her brand that we built is fashion designer, style icon. Do you think an appropriate way for her to dress would be in like sack type dresses? No, that would not be appropriate. So it doesn't mean, so I want you to hear, because sometimes we get into this space of judgment. Oh, we've got to get the right and wrong out of that's what limits us, because we're not in expansion. We're not in possibility. It's appropriate. If you're a rocker and you're out there rocking the world on stage and you're wearing, like, what did Harry Styles, right? Did you guys see the Grammy where Harry Styles performed in like the black leather suit, leather pants, leather jacket, no shirt, with his tattoos and some crazy little banana, phallic symbol banana jewelry? That's appropriate for Harry Styles. He's a rock star. So Get out of right and wrong. Just what's appropriate for you, for the essence, for the thing that you're trying to do, make it appropriate for that. Posture and carriage of the body. Alertness in posture indicates alertness of brain. Have you ever been on a Zoom and you've seen someone like this? If you were in a Zoom with me and it was about, let's just say it was a half day round table of people who do brand development and they're meeting the public and talking about their business, and you meet me and I'm sitting like this. Do you think that's going to communicate? Ability, alertness, expertise, power, thought leadership credentials? No, ma'am. Number one, I'm a professional, so you never catch me on a Zoom lean back like this. I'm always literally, I sit on the edge of my seat. So I am front and center. I'm taking up the entire center of the camera and I'm eyes forward. Posture and carriage of body. Not slumped down, not like tired. Very key. Watch how you sit in your Zooms. Voice. The tone, volume, pitch, and emotional coloring of one's voice are important factors of a pleasing personality. So that you can intonate, that you can flex, that you can go low and say, oh my gosh, you guys really want to hear this. And then you can, it's sort of just like, why do we appreciate, I was talking to Jim about this last night, like what makes a really great singer? And it's the range. Somebody who can hit the highest notes and then come all the way down into their alto, down even further without any cracking, without any like noticing of like, oh, they made like, a wrong note there. They can be fully expressive and then they come really quiet. Then they can get into a falsetto and then they can come with a growl. That's that range. So this is what he's talking about. The tone, the volume, the pitch, the emotional coloring, right? Pleasing personality. Sincerity of purpose. When you are sincere about your purpose, it builds the confidence of others. So if I show up and I say, I'm branding ninja, I am branding Sherpa, right? I am queen of branding. And I'm talking about it, and you get from me that I am truly sincere when I say it is my desire, my purpose, my intent to have every single woman who's desirous of becoming the CEO of her find her footing and get going in a way that makes her successful and not fall prey or victim to this statistic that 75% of all businesses fail in the 5 years. That I am here to ensure that that doesn't happen, not on my watch. You work with me, there is no failure in your line sight. If you get that I'm sincere about that I'm committed to it, that when you see me, I'm talking about, oh, I was just at this other branding event, or I'm at a conference, or I'm speaking, which I am actually speaking at the Career Thought Leaders Symposium on the 24th, that I am steeped in all things, then you understand that I believe what I'm saying and that I'm living what I'm saying. That builds the confidence of people to want to do business with you. If you look like you're just here for the noise, just here for the party for a minute or two, you're wishy-washy, you're doing 52 million things under the sun, we don't believe you, because it's just, you're just chasing the money. I don't get that you're really sincere about your purpose. So for those of you who are in Accelerator, there is a module specifically on vision and mission and really focusing in on purpose. So important that you get that you're able to say that when somebody says to you, why are you doing this thing? That you're not hemming and hawing and you're not stumbling and fumbling. You can say, my mission is, and then you go on. All right, everybody good? We're keeping up. That was number 7. Choice of language. Avoid slang and profanity. Now, I know that there are people for whom that's their jam and that's their thing, right? And remember, we said we're not going to get into judging. We're just going to be observing and we're going to take what works for us. Me, personally, I'm not here for the profanity. I mean, not saying I don't curse, but I'm saying when I show up in my professional lane, I'm not, it's just not for me. It doesn't serve. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't, it's almost as if you're trying to get attraction and you're trying to get notice, like cheap thrills, as opposed to using your $100, $1,000 words, right? As opposed to saying things like, I am here to serve indefatigable women who never tire, who are ceaseless when it comes to pursuing their dreams to become the CEO of you. You know, instead of going, oh yeah, I'm here for those boss bitches. I'm here for because what, that's trendy and it's an in thing to call a woman a boss bitch. I don't do that. It does nothing for me. It doesn't empower or embolden my point of view. So again, remember, you take what works for you. This is just from the book, what they were saying, the choice of language. You can communicate, you can empower, you can move without having a curse. That's just my opinion. Poise. Poise comes from self-confidence and self-control. So again, people doing business with you, it's an emotional, right? I shared before, 95% of all decisions are made at the subconscious level where it's ruled by emotion. Because you might think, and I've shared this before, right? For those of you who don't know, I've been in Legal Shield. I've been a Legal Shield director. Well, I'm a Legal Shield director now, but I started in 2013. And everybody has the same enrollment website. Everybody has the same law firm for South Florida, Glance Law. I don't have like, ooh, I have a different law firm. My law firm is better than that law firm. Come sign up with me. It's the same everything, the same 800 number, the same member services. Do you get what I'm saying? That everything's the same? But yet, I can remember a few years ago when I was in Port St. Lucie, and I would go to this networking event, and there was a gentleman there who said he wanted to get his ID Shield enrolled. And I think he might have known somebody who was in Legal Shield before. And I was like, oh, if you know me, you can go sign with it. It's the same thing. You know, there's no difference. He's like, no. I'm going to sign with you because he said, I can count on you. You always show up. Do you see that that's an emotionally irrational reason? Because I don't have any different lawyers in the trunk of my car. I don't have any different investigators. It's the same. But he made a decision based on poise. Because when I come to a meeting, I am professional. I am not, listen, Good Time Tina doesn't come to those meetings. You know that for sure, right? You know, Good Time Tina's not getting up at 7:30 to go to nobody's networking event. But I come in, I'm professional, I'm pulled together. I am here for the business. This is not a kiki. This is not a socialite gathering. I understand that to be true. My time is valuable. So when I show up, I'm showing up with the fullness, right? I am royalty. I'm a child of the king. I will govern myself accordingly. People see that and they notice that. You may not know, but please understand, I'm telling you that they do. And he proceeded to sign up with me for no other reason than me, because the thing is the same thing that every other Legal Shield associate gets to do. Yes, Julia, we say yes to the Legal Shield. Exactly. It's very important. Number 10, a keen sense of humor. One of the most essential qualities. Where's Bonita when I'm talking about humor? Because she always thinks that I'm telling her something different. A keen sense of humor. So now, this is the point I want to make on it. A keen sense of humor. So, you know, part of my sense of humor, it's a little witty, it's funny, you know, it's not like a big guffaw, ha ha ha, we're all like belly rolling, laughing, you know, sophomoric humor, a raunchy kind of racy humor, right? It's humor and it's wit. There's a difference between being funny and trying to be the life of the party. Is this landing with you guys? Because it's so important that you understand this. Because humor, if you look at brands like Geico, I mean, Geico has built a brand based on dominating humor in their commercials. What is Geico's commercial about? Insurance. Yeah, 7 seconds, as we know. People size you up. Make a first impression, make it count. To me, I would rather be, and I know Jacqueline will totally agree with this, I would rather be overdressed than underdressed on any given day. So if you feel like, oh, I don't know what to, err on the side of being overdressed. Like you're like Coco Chanel, like you show up to the softball game in your Chanel power jacket. Be that woman. It's okay. Rather than, oh my gosh, we're at the Breakers and she's here in a wife beater. Like, right? You can't recover from that as easily as, oh my gosh, you think she's so bougie. Yes, you'll understand it later. But humor, right? Humor is a good thing. You just don't want to let it run and dominate, because again, sometimes we use humor to hide because we're insecure. So we lean on the laughter, we lean on the jokes. And you want to just show up fully with both. So I can stand confidently and I can have this session with you and I can talk about Good Time Tina, right? And we can laugh and we can talk about Bob, and Bob says, turn your disco way up. So humor is important. Just know how to blend it. Sort of like you have perfume, right? We love a good Chanel No. 5. We love a good Joe Malone. But does everybody understand that too much can be too much? Yeah. Yes, I totally agree with that, Jacqueline. I think so too. Absolutely. You feel confident. You feel it's energy, because you're like, can you like literally count it? Maybe not, but it's energy. You just feel I'm here. All right, let's read on. Unselfishness. No one is attracted to a selfish person. Boom. Yeah, I said what I said. See, like that's like a good way to show you how to do humor, but it's not taking over the whole meeting. No one is attracted to a selfish person. Scripture tells us it is better to give than to receive. Now, also hear me say, God called us to serve. He didn't call us to be a martyr. So it's up to us to find that harmony and that balance. But if you have a reputation in the street, like, oh my gosh, Faith, she gives and gives and she over delivers. My money is going to be strong for life. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm a giver. Period, done, end of story. So if there's a posture that you can look to see, do I need to tweak anymore? What's my giving game been? So in our $1 Million Mornings, we do, I told you guys about this mentorship program. It's a year-long program every morning, 9 a.m. on Zoom. Today, my mentor was talking about, there was this one exercise he had given a group a few years ago to just really talk about like the flow. Like he said, money will flow in where it's invited, and it'll stay where it's welcomed. That's from David Nagel, my mentor. So he talked about this notion of tithing, and across all nations, all cultures, from the Greeks to the ancient, that's a huge part of it, right? Scripture tells us tithing is sort of like the root word is 10% to give back. If you believe that God is your source, and this is so important, if you believe that the source of your money is from God, you will be a cheerful giver, because you're like, listen, God, you let me hold this money, I'm just giving you a little bit back. I know where my source comes from. If you think you're the source, then you're going to be stingy. Then you're going to be like, I don't want to give too much, because you're counting on you, and you may or may not be able to build the wealth that you're thinking of. But we serve a God of multiplication. There is nothing too hard for him. So when he says, I'm going to give you, when it's my pleasure to give you the kingdom, I'm going to give you so much that your cup overfloweth, runneth over, tamped down. We cannot outgive God. Can't. I told the story before when I was in Minneapolis, and this was like around 2008 when I got laid off. And at some point, trying to do consulting work and just not getting enough money coming in for the carrying costs for my house was $5,000 a month. Easy. And so I got laid off from my advertising job because it was 2008 recession. So then I had to come into the truth of, okay, this is not going to cut it. I got to get out of this house. And of course, it was like my dream house, my baby house. I built it from the ground up, picked every color, everything. So I was like emotionally tethered to the house. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to see, how can I keep it? Let me get out and put it on corporate leasing. And the night before I found the corporate leasing guy, I woke up 6 o'clock and I heard two sermons, one from Joel Osteen, one from Dr. Charles Stanley. And because in my mind, I was like, oh, well, my money's coming from me. And I just got laid off, right? Like I'm the source of my money, and I, the source, just got laid off. So money is tight now. But God, in his infinite glory and riches of mercy, allowed me to stay open. That's one thing, I'm always open. So I said, okay, I'm going to give $25 to Joel Osteen and $25 to Charles Stanley. That's what, $50? So my house I was putting on lease for $3,000 a month, right? So I was still literally going to be, under. I got to find the taxes and all the other stuff someplace else. So I tithe and I mail off $50. Now, people had told me, they were like, this house, this 5,000 square foot house on a lake with a pool and water, this is going to be on the market for at least 6 months, if not a year, because it's a special type of person that can afford this house. I found the corporate leasing guy. I was like, okay, here's the deal. I need to lease this. He came over that night. We wrote up the paperwork. Next day, he rings me up. Oh, actually, no, the same evening, he rings me up. He's like, I have a lady. She said, listen to me, people. She says she doesn't want any water. What did I just tell you where my house sat? On a lake with a water feature and a pool. So next morning, Jim and I, we go for breakfast at Perkins. We're just sitting, loitering, waiting. Keep calling. I'm like, can we come back home? No, she's still here. She's still here. Finally, at 10:30, he calls us back and says she's signed the lease agreement, not because I had a year lease on the paperwork. She wants the house for 2 years, and her husband didn't even see it. So I gave God back $50. And he was like, okay, watch this. Boom. $6,000, right? Well, basically, no, it's $3,000. It's $3,000 a month for 2 years. Do that math. The people told me my house would sit on the market for 6 months to a year. My house is leased in less than 24 hours. So can't nobody tell me nothing about my God. That's all I got to say. So having this idea of being a giver, not being selfish, being open is massive. Yes. So Julia, totally open for abundance. Yes. Yeah. 10 times. Exactly. So this is what he means when he says, it's my pleasure to give you, and I'm going to like overflow your cup. That was a total. I gave God $50. What's God going to do with $50? What's the kingdom of God going to do with $50? But you know what? It's not even for him, it's just to demonstrate the faith, demonstrate the willingness to accept and know that he is the source. And he said, that's all, because you just take one little teeny tiny step to God, he's going to come rushing in on you like a flood. That's what he did to me. Because even when they said, because I was kind of like believing it too, it's like, yeah, this really is like a kind of like big executive house. It's not just going to get, there is nothing too big for our God. Yes, Juliet, only God. Only God. Okay. So, unselfish. Facial expression, it shows your mood and thoughts. So be aware, be aware of nonverbal communications. This is now we're talking about how to build a magnetic personality. Have you guys ever seen what is that called? Below Deck? And Kate, the chief stew from a couple of seasons, and people would always say like, oh, she's so mad and she's so mean and whatever. And she's like, I'm not, I just have a resting bitch face. So just bring some awareness. And if you need to, good morning, beautiful Khadijah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, not in today's market, it's hot. Yeah. If you can just be mindful of your face, smile more, like just make a determination to smile more. Facial expressions matter because people will interpret. Again, remember, the perception of you and the perception of your brand it lives in the mind of the consumer. Because if I think this coffee is crap, if I believe that because it's not strong enough or it doesn't taste like my Starbucks Sumatra, and that's my truth, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, you love coffee? No, don't get that one. Doesn't taste that good. Let's just drive a little bit further and go to Starbucks and get the Sumatra. It's bold, it's rich, it's wonderful. You'll feel transported to Costa Rica in 2 seconds. So if you know you have a resting bitch face, like Kate on Below Deck, be aware. Train yourself to smile more. Smile for no good reason. Everybody right now, just smile. Do you see your energy just like literally gets lifted up? You can't have a bad conversation and smile. So just smile, smile, smile. Facial expression. Positive thoughts. We know all about this. Vibrations of thoughts are picked up by other people. Maintain pleasing thoughts. We don't roll with negative people. I had a conversation. It was a professional conversation with a colleague a few weeks ago. And I was sort of sharing, some of the big plans. You guys know who are on my email that this Thursday is the last Brand Therapy Thursday. So excited because we're doing some other bigger things. So Brand Therapy Thursday, it's like a Broadway play. It's like we're done. It's met its run. We're going to celebrate on Thursday, and then it'll be a wrap for that show. But stay tuned for new announcements. So I was sharing with him with the idea that maybe he would be a part of what I'm working on, and it was just kind of more like, well, I don't know, like, do you think like that's possible, or if people would pay for it? And I could literally feel the blood just like start to coagulate in my body. I am so allergic to negative thinking. I'm so allergic to can't. I'm so allergic to that's not possible. Why? This is my mantra. This is my belief system. My name is Faith. I am Faith. I am big faith. God is the answer to all. So when I have a conversation and I'm hearing, oh, well, I like literally the energy in my body, it's like stuck. And I'm like, ugh. So I had to lovingly push back and say, no, here's why this is absolutely going to work. And you have to claim it, you have to believe it. So I say all that to tell you positive thoughts. Use your affirmations, your declarations. I'm going to share something here. Let's see what time we're doing. I'm going to share some words from what is this called? It's the money. The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder, some affirmations. This is from my $1 Million Mornings. So you see, this is what we do. This is when I talk about being selfless. I'm paying multiple tens of thousands of dollars to be in this annual mastermind. But what do? I'm like, hey, here's this thing. I'm not saying, oh, click here and pay me to get access to it because I paid for it. I'm just bringing. So stay to the end for that. Enthusiasm, essential for all forms of salesmanship. And salesmanship doesn't necessarily mean, oh, buy this stuff. It could mean picking the next vacation destination, right? Because you're selling your friends on the idea. So we're always salesmen. We're always selling something. Let's go here instead of there. Let's do this instead of that. That's salesmanship. So enthusiasm, again, do not be a lump on a log. Just don't do it. A sound body. Poor health does not attract people. Surprise. So if you're not focused on your health and your wellness, you're not focused on your vibrancy, it has a ripple effect. Because if you're a grandma and you want to spend time with your grandbabies when everybody gets, right, cleared, vaccine, et cetera, and we can come together a little bit closer, and now they're so excited to see you, like, oh my God, grandma. And now they want to like run and play catch in the park. And you steady there coughing and hacking because you're out of breath. It impacts everything. Everything. Imagination. Alertness of imagination is essential. Again, if you're down here and this didn't happen this way before, so it can't happen. That's not a magnetic personality. Imagination, you're in possibility. You're in childlike wonder. What about this? Like, oh my gosh. I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues in our leadership program, and I was basically just sort of helping her kind of like find her joy again. And I said, just imagine 5 years from now when we're on our yacht sailing around in the Mediterranean, and we're going to look back and say, do you remember that time you called me on Sunday and you were like boo-hooing about this thing? And we just literally burst out into spontaneous laughter on the phone. Imagination, right? You're signaling to God, to source, more life, more life, more life. I have thoughts, I have dreams, I have aspirations, I have things that I need to do. I have things I get to do. Have enthusiasm and also imagination. Tact. Lack of tact, T-A-C-T, is usually expressed through loose conversation and boldness of expression. So something that would be, so tact comes from, so like tacky, tactless comes from that root word tact. Loose conversation would be, oh, you're using humor now in the wrong way, and you're at a dinner and you're trying to be seen as like cool and with it. And you're asking somebody a question about some private time with their spouse. Like, oh, how was it last night? Did you guys, have a great time? I saw that dress she was wearing. No, don't do that. Loose conversation and boldness of express. That is not the time nor the place. We don't know you like that. You don't get to ask those questions. So have tact. Versatility. General knowledge of the important subjects of current interest and deep problems of life. So again, remember we talked about gaining specialized knowledge. This here now we're talking about just having some general knowledge. Like if somebody were to have a conversation right now about how many people in the US so far have been vaccinated and what has been the conversation around why some people are vaccine shy versus those who are like, stick it to me 2 more times, please, and thank you. Can you join in on that conversation? Because that's a current thing that's happening right now in the world. Are you plugged in enough to participate in the conversation? It doesn't mean you have to be with or against vaccine. That's not the point. Can you have a conversation around it? Do you know both sides of the conversation to be able to say, well, this is so and this is so. My point of view is this. I say, listen, hey, who wants to get vaccinated? Great, go for it. I think I would rather have my dad here than worry about who's like, not wanting to have a vaccine, right? So you want to make sure that you're able to just understand versatility. Somebody's having a conversation around skiing comes up. Could you bump into that conversation and be like, oh my gosh, the last time I was on a slope was when I acted like I was trying to be a snowboard person and try to do a J turn, and then ski patrol had to come get me. True story. But do you have anything that you can just bop into? General knowledge. Number 19, the art of being a good listener. I said yesterday in Mastermind, committed, active listener. Listen attentively. Do not break in and take the conversation away from others. You know people like that. They just can't wait for you to look like you're about to take a breath. It's like, oh my God. But my point was, ease back. Like, let the people have a moment. Is it that your mind is like a sieve that if you don't get it out right now, you're going to lose your thought? Then maybe you need to take some mind focus. Brenda, you should post a link for the Arbonne mind focus that I get from you, because that would be one of the reasons why you just interrupt. It is not a good look. Do not interrupt people. Once in a while, or sometimes, in Jamaica, what do we say? Stick a pin. When we say stick a pin, that means we're like, hold that thought. But if that's your mantra, if that's your way of being, it's not a good look. You always trying to talk over people because what you think you're right, your stuff is more important, your thing is more interesting than anybody else. Don't do it. Hold your thought, work on your brain exercises, go get the Arbonne focus, whatever you need to do, so that you can hold two thoughts in your mind at the same time. And when the person's done, say, you know what I wanted to say on that, when you said X, Y, and Z, when you told the story about the ski patrol, I really thought about that first, right? And be able to have that, not like, I got to bust in right now, because if I don't say what I got to say, I can't remember it. So that's what we mean. So good listener, be a good listener. Stop interrupting people. Stop bursting in on people's thoughts. It shows a lack of respect. It says, I'm not interested in nothing you have to say. I'm just here to get my point across. Nobody wants to be friends with people like that. Number 20, the art of forceful speech. Have something to say that is worth listening to and say it with all the enthusiasm at your command. So when you are declaring your mission, you would say that in a forceful speech. When I said not on my watch are women going to be lost in the streets because they don't know what it means or what it takes to be a successful CEO of themselves. You have to be forceful. When you think about Martin Luther King, when he did his I Have a Dream speech, he didn't go, I have a dream. I have a dream that one day. He said, I have a dream. I have a dream. That one, right? And he goes into it. Forceful speech, worth listening to, enthusiasm and command. And again, timing is critical too. And last, personal magnetism, controlled sex energy, major asset of every great leader and every great salesman. Personal magnetism. The idea is to find the balance. This is right. This is what everything in nature is balance. If all of a sudden the tree frogs become dominant, then we have problem. It's out of balance. There needs to be a balance. So nature is always resetting, right? Keeping us on the axis and everything in spinning accordingly. One can't be out of whack. So I hope everybody got that list. I'm going to share very quickly. You can screenshot this if you choose. I'll make this bigger. Does that work? And let me make this bigger. Does that work? So this is from the book. I think that's the name of the book. Let me see. And I might read, yeah, that is the name of the book. And I might read this in one of our shows. But I want you to just find one that you're going to add to your list of affirmations. If you already do affirmations, I know a number of you do. If there are a few of you who don't do this as a practice, this is your invitation to start. So you can pick one or two that work for you. So this is from the book, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. I give thanks that I am the ever renewing, the ever unfolding expression of life, infinite health and energy. Let there be peace within my walls and prosperity within my palaces. I give thanks for ever increasing health, youth, and beauty. I am the radiant child of God. My mind, body, and affairs now express his radiant perfection. I love that. I'm probably going to add that one. I give thanks that I am now rich, well, and happy, and that my financial affairs are in divine order. Every day in every way, I'm growing richer and richer. Money, money, money manifest it there thyself here and now in rich abundance. Abundance, wealth, health, and happiness. Divine intelligence is even now opening the way for my immediate blessing. I have faith that all is mine by divine right now comes to me in rich abundance. I have faith that all is mine by divine right now comes to me in rich abundance. My rich blessings do not interfere with anyone else's good, since God's rich substance is unlimited and everywhere for all of us. There is no delay. That which is not for my highest good now fades away from me, and I no longer desire it. My God-given riches, my God-given desires are richly fulfilled now in God's own wonderful way. I am an irresistible magnet with the power to attract onto myself everything that I divinely desire according to the thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures I constantly entertain and radiate. I am the center of my universe. I have the power to create whatever I wish. I attract whatever I radiate. I attract whatever I mentally choose and accept. I begin choosing and mentally accepting the highest and best in life. I now choose and accept health, success, and happiness. I choose lavish abundance for myself and for all humankind. This is a rich, friendly universe, and I dare to accept its riches, its hospitality, and to enjoy them now. I am the rich child of a loving Father. I accept and claim his rich good for me in every phase of my life. My God-given success, my own God-given success in the form of rich ideas and rich results now appears. I'm experiencing health, perfect health, abundant prosperity, and complete and utter happiness. This is true because the world is full of charming people who now lovingly help me in every way. I am now coming into an innumerable company of angels. I am now living a delightful, interesting, and satisfying life of the most widely useful kind because of my own increased health, wealth, and happiness. I'm now able to help others live a delightful, interesting, and satisfying life of the most widely useful kind. My good, our good, is universal. I am now activated by divine love and guided by divine power into my right work, which I perform in a perfect way for perfect pay. The divine plan of my life now takes shape in definite, concrete experiences, leading to perfect health, happiness, success, and prosperity. Divine intelligence is in charge of my life. I am now open, receptive, and obedient to its rich instructions and guidance. Yes, I love that one. Divine intelligence directs the right buyer to this property, Vivian. Everyone concerned is blessed by a just and orderly exchange of values, Jacqueline. Divine intelligence knows our need, knows where the right house is, and knows how to manifest it to us at the right time. And it goes on and on and on. I'm not going to read through the whole thing because it's too much. But if you would like this, drop your email and I will get it to you. Let's see. Denny says about health and totally taking care of your body. And for those parents who can't play football or run with the kids, yep, they can do the swim lessons. Yeah, either way. Faith and friends and no sweating. I love that. Do whatever you need to do to bring vitality into your life. Anything by any means to bring vitality into your life. So if you need, if you want, if you are desirous of a magnetic personality that people just flock to you for the goodness of what it is that you have, for the amplification of your gifts and talents, then I ask you to consider these 21, see where you're doing just okay, maybe where you can amplify. Be intentional about these 21 because it is the secret sauce. It is the thing that even if you may not be the best at one thing in your community, in the world, whatever, but because of your sex transmutation into magnetism, that your people just come to you, your people flock to you, and it's indescribable, it's unbelievable, it's unrecognizable how you have transformed because you dare to focus in on your magnetism. That is power infinite. That is wisdom divine. Absolutely. Okay, Jessica, I see you got your email there. Yep, I got you. Khadijah, done. Julia, done. Yep, taking care of the body, so important, both exactly, physically and mentally. I have a whole morning routine that I do that starts from 6 p.m. until 9 o'clock when I get on my $1 million mornings every single day, Monday through every day, Sunday, doesn't matter. So definitely do what you can. Don't beat yourself up and say, oh my gosh, I'm like so far from the 21. The 21's just there for you to get a measure of like, okay, well, where am I? Like, okay, great. I'm hitting 2 out of 21. No judgment. It's just data. We're just observing where you are and where you need to go. So let me wrap as we're over by saying anybody who has not been here in the studio before and you are desirous of getting into a lifetime program of guidance and support for your brand from me, it's the accelerator. I need you to comment below accelerator and get in while you can. It's a $97 one-time pay, and that's it. And you're in #faith for life. As long as I breathe and as long as you breathe, you're in this program where you get all the support that you need for your brand development, brand expression, all of it. So be super savvy. Michelle, you can catch the replay, my love, or if you want to, that was chapter 10 on Think and Grow Rich. And so yeah, you can catch the replay. Yes, Melody, I got your email. I will send you. So what we're doing right now, Michelle, is I'm sending the dynamic laws of prosperity, the affirmations. Some people may have affirmations, some people don't. These are, what I love these is because she comes from this place of divinity. If you notice a lot of it when she says, I'm the radiant child of God, my mind, body, and affairs now express his radiant perfection. If that lands with you and you want to add some divine inspiration, then go ahead and drop your email. Denny, yes, just comment accelerator, like literally the word that you see on the screen, and you will get a message in your inbox. And yeah, hop on in, because once the codes are done, they're done. It won't be $97 ever again in life. I make you that solemn promise. So get while the getting is good. All right, my loves. I love you guys so much. I will see everybody here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Remember, this Thursday is the last brand therapy Thursday session ever. Come party with me. Come celebrate. We did some wonderful work these 2+ years, and it's going to be even more fire, as we say, straight fire. So come hang out with me noontime Eastern this Thursday for our last brand therapy Thursday session. Until then, stay beautiful, stay wonderful. I love you. Social distance, wear a mask. We're still in a pandemic. Keep yourself and your family safe. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. sees